real solutions to money, relationships, wellness, and more. Shine a light onto your day and into your life. Power Your Life with Dr. Joanne White.
Good evening and welcome to Power Your Life. I'm your host, Joanne White. We begin tonight with a true story of inspiration. Philadelphia's multi-Emmy winning journalist Luann Cahn recently released her inspirational memoir, I Dare Me, which is an entertaining look back on a year that changed her whole life. She's here to share her touching story with us. Luann, thanks for joining us tonight.
I'm so happy to be with you, Joanne.
Oh, it's wonderful. We were hula hooping before, right?
We were.
That was wonderful. And that's one of the things that you did in this wonderful book that started out as a blog, right? I Dare Me, how I rebooted and recharged my life by doing something new every day. And thank you so much for the book.
You're so welcome.
So what happened that you wanted to do that? You went through so many challenges before, breast cancer, getting a kidney removed, intestine removed, and yet there you were later on, and what happened?
Yeah, I had had a lot of health challenges and earlier in my life and got through them. But in really, it is a miracle that I'm alive, really, with all those missing body parts.
And still hula hooping.
Yeah. But in 2009, you remember the economy tanked.
Right.
A lot of things changed. Certainly, my work as a reporter at NBC 10 changed. There was downsizing, and people were losing their jobs, and there was cutting of resources. And I was also being asked to change. I was being asked to adopt new technology and social media. And honestly, right at that point, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to change. I was frustrated at the same time, and I felt old for the first time in my career, I think, and I didn't know what to do. It was my daughter who kind of kicked me in the rear end and said, "Oh, this is not good. You've got to do something." She convinced me to start a blog. And I didn't even know what a blog was at that point. In 2010, I started on January 1st, and it's kind of self-therapy. I decided to do something new every day for a year, and it really did refresh and reinvigorate my life.
Well, it was challenging too. Some of the things that you report in this book and on the blog in terms of going swimming in the ice cold polar bear weather kind of thing, and
it was a polar bear plunge. Yeah.
Riding that electronic horse. That was So what did it do to change you?
You know, every time I did something big or small, whether I did the polar bear plunge or I walked backwards around the block, it all cumulatively added up to giving me more confidence to take more risks in my life. You know, it seemed like every time I did something new, it kind of was like throwing a pebble in the karmic universal pond. It created new energy, it created new possibilities, and you know that when we get stuck, it happens to all of us at some point.
Sure, it does.
We kind of shut down. We go inward instead of outward, and nothing new happens. So these firsts gave me confidence to do some of the bigger things that I wanted to do, like go back to school and teach school.
Now you taught we were talking about that earlier, you taught at a college, and you actually taught graduate students, and you've done so much. What was the scariest thing that you did during those 365 days?
Oh my gosh, there were quite a few things that were kind of scary. The honestly, I got on the mechanical bull, and the whole time, if you look at the video, and I did document all of this, it's on my blog at luanncahn.com. I'm just screaming the whole time because I cannot get out the words, "Please stop this thing." One time I was in a cenote, an underground cave in Mexico, and I was climbing this rope ladder, and it's like 2 or 3 stories tall, and I realized in the middle of it, I was not sure I had enough strength to get through it. But it's amazing what adrenaline does, and we need to experience things that take our breath away.
You know, it's amazing what the human spirit can do, and so you're right. Tell us, because many of us, we're all starting a new year, and what would you tell people who are going into a slump or even avoiding a slump, how to avoid a slump given that you've had this, firstly your challenges, but secondly the blog and this book and all that, those 365 days of experiencing new things to really add some flavor to your life?
Well, first of all, you know, you don't have to ride a mechanical bull. You know, some of these first can be very simple, but I found that sometimes just saying yes to invitations from people to do new things is an easy way to expand your life, open it up again. You know, we forget to play. You know, you talked about us hula hooping. You know, sometimes I am guilty of taking myself too seriously and I forget to play, I forget to laugh, I forget about the joy. And sometimes just going back to do something you haven't done since you were a kid, I count that as a first, by the way.
Well, I think that's great.
Is something that we need to do.
And I think you're so right, Luann. You don't have to do these outstanding kinds of daring things to challenge yourself and to really get into a place of renewal. But just, like you said, just some of the small things. And I love saying yes because we are such creatures of habit, right?
Exactly. We like doing the same things day in and day out. And look, you know what? That's fine if that works for you and you're happy and you know, but that's our comfort zone. When you're stuck, that's when we need to make sure tomorrow is not Groundhog Day, you know, that we're experiencing something new. And this is one way you can kind of help yourself get out of that rut. It could be simple, like during my year of first, I learned how to make a cake from scratch. I'd never done that before.
And I love your year of first. Everybody, this book is wonderful, and it's not about just daring Luann, but also dare yourself this new year to get out of your comfort zone and to do something very, very different. Thanks so much,
Joanne,
Luann. You've
thank
been
you
wonderful.
for having me on.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
for inspiring so many women.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Ahead on Power Your Life, the healing power of forgiveness. Author Elizabeth Cookson shares with us how to cope with tragedy, learn to forgive, and persevere in our lives. We'll be right back